What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are going to continue our coverage over Spawn for Spawn Sundays, where we actually do pick up right now with another Spawn Batman crossover, and this is called Batman and Spawn War Games. Now, this is actually a pretty good crossover, and matter of fact, I like this crossover more than the other crossover because honestly, Batman acts normal in this one rather than the other one. Now, with that being said, this one is another story where it's the two characters coming together but meeting for the first time. And the reason why I'm saying that because in the last story, the last time Spawn met Batman, that was Dark Knight Returns Batman, a younger version of Dark Knight Returns Batman. This one right here is kind of telling us that this is the main DC Universe Batman meeting Spawn for the first time. Now, with that being said, this crossover right here is technically not referenced ever again in Spawn comics like the first one was, because in the first one, we saw it be referenced in later stories right after covering that story. But this one, you might see a couple here and there, but honestly, not that much. But this one is way better than the first crossover. So here is Batman and Spawn War Games #1. And so to begin today's storyline, we actually do pick up right now in the year 1587, where we actually do pick up in Roanoke Island. Now, when it comes to Roanoke Island, this was one of the first settlements for America, where Great Britain began the process of coming over to America. Now, with that being said, at first, they did send a small number of people to build a settlement here. Now, once that number had grew to 100 people, they began the process of sending word back home to begin the process of sending more people over here to grow the settlement. But here comes the big problem though, because when they came back 3 years later with more people, well, the original group had all died or disappeared, and no one knew what exactly happened to them, except when they arrived into the actual settlement, they found a bunch of flames just recently put out, but one thing was written on top of a tree, so high up that the new settlers could not actually touch it, but it did say something very important. Croatoan. And that right there is actually going to be very important for this entire storyline. Now, we also kind of find out that apparently some kind of pentagram was actually cut into the ground around this settlement to say something big is going to open up when it comes to this area in the far future. And matter of fact, that is when we jump into the present day and we kind of find out that Gotham City in this storyline was technically built on top of Roanoke Island. But then we actually pick up with Bruce Wayne right now being Matches Malone. Now, the reason why he's calling himself Matches Malone is because it's one of the aliases he used when he's undercover, especially when it comes to gangsters in Gotham City or mobsters. Now, with that being said though, he's right now actually talking to a certain guy. And the reason why, because right now Bruce Wayne is looking for a guy known as Virgil Dare. Now, we have no idea at first why he wants Virgil Dare, but then we kind of find out that apparently Bruce Wayne as Batman has stopped a huge shipment at the docks that was holding a bunch of explosives. And of course, those explosives were technically under the name Virgil Dare. And so right now it's Batman saying that I believe that Virgil Dare is working for someone in Gotham City that was actually plotting to use the bombs as a way to blow up a huge area of Gotham. And so right now it's Batman saying I have to find Virgil Dare, but also find the people that he is actually working for to hopefully stop them and save the day. But then we jump over to Spawn. Now, when we jump over to Spawn, it's Spawn right now arriving in Gotham. Now, this is Spawn right now technically saying that something in Gotham drew him here. That technically he left New York City to come over to Gotham to look for something very important. But the question is right now, what? Because this is still Spawn right now trying to piece together his memories. And so right now, something here in Gotham is very special to him that he has to know about. And this begins the process of us right now seeing Batman going after Virgil and trying to follow him to see who in the world does Virgil actually work for. Now, this begins the process of where the book does jump back and forth between Spawn and Batman. So every single page is going to jump back over to a different character. And so right now for this page, it's just Batman right now telling Virgil to hopefully see where in the world Virgil is actually going to learn who Virgil is actually working for. And so that is the moment where we do see both characters actually arrived to Gotham Tower. Now, Gotham Tower was actually built by a guy known as Simon Vesper. Now, Simon is actually dead, but he is going to be the main bad guy of this book. Now, with that being said, though, the reason why Batman's here right now because Batman was following Virgil. And so right now it's Batman saying, I have to make sure that when it comes to Virgil, he is not going to try to blow anything up. Now, the reason why Spawn is here because when it comes to Spawn, he actually did kill off Simon Vesper. And the reason why, because remember, Spawn was a mercenary before he became Spawn, before he died and became Spawn. And so in that life, he did kill a lot of people. And so technically he was hired to go after Simon Vesper because Simon was a bad dude. Either way, when it comes to Spawn, he was hired to go after Simon and kill him off, which Spawn did. And that right there is Spawn's connection to Gotham Tower. But with that connection, it's going to lead into so many more things happening in this storyline. But shifting our focus back over to Batman, you have Batman actually go into Gotham Tower. Now, while Batman is going into Gotham Tower, we come to find out that the night Simon was killed off by Spawn, Batman was there as well. The problem was, though, when Batman tried to find the killer, which was Spawn, unfortunately, he was unable to actually find Spawn there because Al was able to get away before Batman could find him because Al was a professional mercenary. Now, with that being said, once you have Batman get inside Gotham Tower, of course, he does begin the process of fighting against the guards that are technically right now working for Virgil. And so it is kind of cool to see Batman fight against some guys, but once the fighting is done, that is the moment where you actually have Virgil tell Batman he got everything wrong. That technically right now, when it comes to Virgil, what they're doing right now is making sure this building actually does open up. Because after Simon had died, he had a 6-year plan. At the end of that plan, he wanted to make sure the building still opened up to the public. And so right now it seems like all the explosives that Batman heard that Virgil was grabbing could be used for fireworks for the big opening day. And so you do have Batman leave, but at the same time, it's Batman wondering, what if Virgil is actually lying to me? Now, to make matters even worse, we actually do jump over to Potter's Field. Now, Potter's Field is actually a cemetery in Gotham City. And the reason why we're focusing on this cemetery because out of nowhere, you do have a body come out of the ground. And that body begins to change back into a regular human form. Now, here's the thing. This is actually Simon Vesper coming back to life at the tail end of his 6-year plan, which means that right now everything is about to pop off very soon. And of course, with Simon being back in Gotham City, word gets out very quickly. Now, here's the thing. The world did figure that Simon was dead, but unfortunately, they never got confirmation. And what I mean by that is, when it came to Simon, his head was shot off clean by Spawn, or Al Simmons at that point in time. And so with his head being completely destroyed, the police was unable to say or get confirmation that that was actually Simon Vesper's body. And so right now they're kind of like, oh, that wasn't your body, which means that you're alive again, and this is great. Now, Batman knows that Simon should be dead because he was there when Simon died, but at the same time, so does Spawn. Spawn also knows that Simon should be dead, which means that right now, something big is about to happen, especially for Spawn, because he's like, listen, I watched him die. If he's alive again, that means right now, he's being controlled by some kind of demonic being. And we then shift our focus onto Simon. Now, when we do, this is Simon right now going back over to Gotham Tower. Now, when he does arrive, Virgil, the guy he hired to follow his 6-year plan, is very happy to see his boss. Unfortunately, Virgil is killed off by Simon. And then you have Simon use Virgil's blood as a way to draw a pentagram in the tower to show us that something demonic is coming very soon to Gotham. And when it does, we can say right now that Simon is the source of that demonic thing coming to Gotham. And right after you have Simon leave Arkham Tower, well, then you have Batman arrive in Arkham Tower. And when he does, he finds the dead body of Virgil. But on top of that, he does see the pentagram that was drawn in Virgil's blood on the ground and wondering what in the world is happening right now. Now for Batman, he's kind of like, listen, this has to be demonic. This right here has to be cult-like. And with that being said, I have to get this figured out right now to prevent anything else bad happening in Gotham City. But Batman right now is very, very concerned about what could happen in his own city at the moment. Now, while you have Batman leave Gotham Tower hoping to find more clues somewhere else, well, unfortunately, that is the moment where we come to find out Spawn sees Batman and believes that Batman is evil. Now, the reason why Spawn believes that, because when it comes to Spawn, when he does arrive to Gotham Tower, the only thing he does sense is pure evil. And of course, he sees Batman right now just leaving Gotham Tower. And so he believes that Batman right now could be that pure evil that he was actually sensing. Now, on top of that, when it comes to Spawn, he feels like Batman is the reason why he's here right now in Gotham City, because right now this could be another test from hell, another test from Malbolgia. And so you do have Spawn begin the process of fighting against Batman. Now, at first, Spawn is able to actually beat down on Batman. I mean, I feel so bad for the dude because Batman's getting his butt kicked. But then out of nowhere, when it comes to the powers of Spawn, his powers begin to disappear. And so because of that, he's no longer able to actually defeat Batman. Instead, it's now Batman being able to actually take down Spawn. And once you have Batman being able to actually take out Spawn, it's Batman saying, you know what? Because I defeated you now, maybe we can sit here and actually have a legit conversation at the moment. And once the fighting is all done, you then have Batman and Spawn introduce each other to the other person. Now, once that is done right there, you then have both characters realize that technically they're on the same side. That right now they're trying to figure out what in the world is going on when it comes to Simon. Now, when it comes to the characters actually introducing each other, you do have Batman say, I'm Batman. When it comes to Al, he says, just call me Al. He does not tell Batman to call him Spawn. Either way, you do have the two characters now working together to figure out what in the world is going on when it comes to Simon. And speaking of Simon, we do see him right now getting a phone call from two guards who are technically at the moment loading up a truck full of explosives that belong to Simon. Now, at first, Simon did tell these guards that these explosives are going to be used as a way to kind of do some impressive fireworks show when Gotham Tower opens up. And the fireworks are going to come from different buildings and different areas of Gotham City. The problem is though, the guards realize that when it comes to Simon, he has way too much explosives, meaning that technically if these things go off in the different buildings, those buildings are going to catch on fire. But when it comes to Simon, he tells the guards, don't worry, I have everything under control. In reality, he doesn't. He's lying. Now, with that being said, we come to find out that right now Simon is trying to deliver 100,000 souls so that he'll be able to actually get a corner in hell, which means that right now he could be working for Malbolgia, or he's trying to get up to Malbolgia's level in hell, because Malbolgia is just a devil in hell. There are many devils in hell. And so right now it seems like Simon is trying to become the next devil in hell as well. But then we jump over to Batman and Spawn, and right now you have the two characters working together. Now Batman realized that when it comes to Simon did buy 5 different locations in Gotham City, but the question is right now why? Now Batman kind of realized that there has to be some kind of connection between the buildings and also the pentagram he found in Gotham Tower that was drawn with Virgil's blood. Now you do have Batman also say that there was another word that was written in the blood of Virgil, and that was Croatoan. Now the last time that word was ever used in the history of Gotham was when Gotham was Roanoke Island. And so right now it's Batman saying, I'm wondering why in the world this word is reappearing so many years later in Gotham City. What in the world is about to go down? And that is the moment where you actually have Simon's plan go into effect. And what I mean by that is you do have the process of different areas in Gotham beginning to have blackouts left and right. Power being lost all over Gotham except certain areas. And of course, the areas right now that are light up, they basically form some kind of pentagram in Gotham City. And so it seems like right now, this is Simon saying, here comes my big plan. And right now, I'm about to bring hell on earth for Gotham City. And when we do jump over to Simon, it's him right now technically having a party in Gotham Tower. Now here's the thing, Gotham Tower stands right in the middle of the pentagram, but on top of that, it is actually the only building right now lit up. Everything else is in the blackout area. Now here's the thing, the people in the party right now, they have no idea what is actually happening. But here is another thing though, because you didn't have Simon say he's trying to bring in the new age of Gotham City, the new beginning for Gotham City. And that is the moment where we do jump over to the cemetery we were at earlier, where you do have more and more dead bodies begin the process of coming out of the ground and walking in Gotham like zombies. And it seems like right now they're about to take over the city. And this is right now Simon's master plan coming into effect. But then we jump over to Spawn and Batman. Now when we do, it's Batman and Spawn realizing right now that Simon is attacking Gotham City. And so you do have the two characters go their separate ways, where you have Batman actually go after Simon, but you have Spawn stay behind. And the reason why, because Spawn realized that when it comes to the generators, he feels a whole lot of evil coming from them. He's kind of like, you know what? Let me go ahead and check out these generators, because right now they're the only thing powered on right now. And of course, they're powering on Gotham Tower. And so those things could be very important to what Simon is trying to do to Gotham City. And with this blackout now happening in Gotham, of course, you now have the public freaking out. And of course, it makes sense because right now they're wondering what in the world is happening. And so the GCPD are getting so many different calls about different things happening in Gotham City. Now, at first, it seems like most people are complaining about the blackout. But as we go through the calls, we come to find out some people are being assaulted in the dark now. It's complete chaos in Gotham City. And right now, you have James Gordon wondering if Batman can save the day. And then we see Batman arrive to Gotham Tower. Now, when Batman does arrive to Gotham Tower, it's Batman right now going after Simon. Now, let me tell you guys, it may look like that Simon is weak and that Batman should be able to handle Simon, but you're going to find out very quickly that Simon is not weak. And Batman is about to get his butt kicked left and right by Simon. It's Batman right now going to need the help of Spawn very soon. But then we jump over to Spawn. Now when we do, it's Spawn right now realizing what Simon is trying to do. That at the moment, it's Simon right now trying to open a gate to hell in Gotham City. And so of course Spawn realized that is what Simon is trying to do, to deliver a bunch of souls into hell, but also bring hell on earth. And so you do have Spawn use his Spawn powers as a way to close the pentagram to make sure nothing even bad happens in Gotham City. But now he must go help Batman fight against Simon, because Simon is not just your regular guy. Of course, he's some kind of demonic being. Because when we do jump over to Batman, you do have Batman right now trying his best to fight against, of course, Simon. The problem is, though, Simon is just too strong. And the reason why? Because Simon is some kind of demon. And right now, it's Batman getting his butt whooped by this demon. Unfortunately, Batman does not stand a chance against this guy at all. And so right now, you have Simon just giving Batman one heck of a beatdown. Now, that is the moment where you do have Simon say, what he is trying to do is to deliver a bunch of souls to Malbolgia for the huge war between heaven and hell. And so, of course, that is why he's trying to open up a gate into hell when it comes to Gotham City, to deliver 100,000 souls to basically build up the army of Malbolgia. And once you have Spawn arrive to fight against this demon, we kind of find out that this demon's real name is Croatoan. And honestly, it makes sense now, because when it comes to the demon, every single time he did something, he would write his name somewhere so that people will know it was him who did this particular thing. Now, with that being said, though, you didn't have Spawn try to fight against, of course, Croatoan. Now, here's the big thing, because Croatoan says he planned all of this 6 years ago. And matter of fact, he knew that Al Simmons would become Spawn down the road. But he also used Al as a way to kill off Simon 6 years ago, so that he'll be able to use Simon's body right here in the present day to complete his master plan, to open up a gate of hell into Gotham City. Now, you do have Spawn try his best to exactly stop, of course, Croatoan, but unfortunately, this is a very powerful demon. Now, this is where you kind of tell that DC and Image were trying to wrap this up very quickly. And the reason why, because while Spawn is losing, you didn't have Batman throw some kind of grenades to throw Croatoan off balance just long enough to allow Spawn to exactly defeat Croatoan just like that. And once he does that, the story's done. That's it. And you have Spawn and Batman go their separate ways. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.